Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to Four Guys in a Bar podcast, sponsored by Chiefs Blitz and presented by Dave Purdy with Supreme Lending. For your mortgage solutions, call Dave today at 816-405-5831. That's 816-405-5831 because he's pretty good. Here's your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar, presented by ChiefsBlitz.com, Chiefs Blitz YouTube, Chiefs Blitz Facebook, and Twitter. We're joined by my producer and partner extraordinaire, Mr. Hense Todd. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied today. With Bowtie Sports, LLC. Check out their show every Monday with he and Andre Tillman, Coach Dre, 1 o'clock on their YouTube channel at Bowtie Sports. Got a great show lined up for you today, but before we get started, I want to talk about our sponsors. First up is going to be Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. Eric is your trusted personal real estate advisor. He is my trusted personal real estate advisor. I've known Eric a long time. He is the man who was able to help my wife, Emily, and I get our new home. We closed in 2 days. We move in next week. We're so excited. We can't stand it. But it was a process. It's not easy to buy and sell a house these days. But at the end of the day, you got to find someone you trust, and that's Mr. Eric Haynes. So if you're looking for someone who can find you a house, sell your house, do all the paperwork in between, from the inception of looking to getting keys to moving your home, I trust no one better or more than Eric Haynes. You can reach him at 816-729-3785. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who.
And a proud sponsor of Chiefs Who as well. And we are joined by the other senior member, Mr. Lou Montagna, and Coach Andre Tillman. Gentlemen, great. It's been an interesting day and a half in Kansas City land. A lot of stuff going on, but it's good to be joined by you guys, and we appreciate all the fans. Remember, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our likes are growing. Our users are growing. We really appreciate that. So don't forget, it should be on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. All you got to do is hit that button and you're automatically subscribed. So, gents, I don't even know where to begin. So much has happened. We had, we got some little bit of clarification on Rashee Rice. We got a new backup quarterback. We've got an old backup running back. We had the vote. But, first and foremost,
Diggs,
and we had then the Stephon Diggs situation, which we will talk a lot about here in a few minutes. But with that said, I guess the biggest news of the week, we'll set the vote aside, is that the Chiefs, were able to find a backup quarterback. And I kind of championed Ryan Tannehill. I thought it would be a veteran, but it was Carson Wentz, who the Chiefs attempted to sign last year in free agency, but ultimately he chose a different direction. And now he comes into a terrific situation to back up Sir Patrick Mahomes and his back-to-back Super Bowl titles and be in Andy Reid's system. And I think this is a terrific move. This is the best backup I think Andy Reid's ever had. He's got experience. Now he has a Super Bowl ring, but unfortunately he was injured, and Nick Foles had to guide the way when they beat the New England Patriots back, I think, Super Bowl 50, if I'm not mistaken, or 52. I'm not really sure. My Roman numerals are not as good as my 7-year-old son are at the moment. With that said, guys, what do you think? I mean, good decision, bad decision, or was it the right move?
Okay, first things first. It's a Wednesday in April, okay? And the NFL is king. This is why we love the game. This is why we love the league. It's the best reality show on TV. It's just some of this stuff just writes itself. Yeah. So in terms of Wentz, again, I think he's still at an age. I think he's just 31 years old. Obviously, Doug Peterson really liked him. Obviously, Sean McVay really liked him. Two of the brightest offensive minds going, and I'm sure he'll fit right in with Andy Reid. You're not asking him to lead the team, obviously. He's just the backup quarterback, and I think just the physical skills, the awareness, and just experience in the league in those offenses, again, McVay and Peterson, that he can, convey some things to Patrick on the sidelines that he may not see during in-game situations, or maybe he is seeing, and just things that he can confirm. So another sounding board, a guy that can kind of be with him, help him prepare during the course of the week. And at worst case, if Patrick were to go down for any length of time, you've got a guy that has won games in this league. You can say what you want about his personality. It can be polarizing. He's a little bit different. Maybe, the Eagles folks could probably speak to this a little bit better. But I think as far as just the football sense of it, I think this is a good move.
Now, listen, honestly, it is a good move. Looking at this man's stats over this past years, he's been decent. His lowest one was in 2020, which he threw for 16, 15. But other than that, he's been above over 500 as far as interception and TDs. That's a good move for them. And he's still young. Remember, he's under Andy Reid now, so Andy Reid gonna fix him up real good. That's a good move for Kansas City. Because honestly, I got faith in Carson Wentz. If Mahomes happened to have a little nick, I got faith in Carson Wentz, man, because the stats proved it. The stats proved it.
I'm knocking on wood if you hear the knocking. I hope
it is wood, sir.
I heard Luke come over here talking his nonsense about injury to my man Mahomes. I hear my boy Dre talking about some injuries, drinking his carrot juice. But I put it like this, Carson Wentz, hey, about time they got a younger backup quarterback.
Yeah.
They needed one. They needed a guy. But again, is he going to come? I want to see what he's going to do. Is he going to hold the clipboard very well? Is he going to be there to encourage Mahomes when Mahomes make a bad play or something like that? Is he going to be there to help coach Mahomes, not trying to come in and do too much? Is he going to help? Is he going to be better for the quarterback room? Is his mind there? You know what I mean? Like the other guys that came in. So if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, yes, I would sign him. If he can get back to his playing days when he first was playing in Philadelphia until Nick Foles took over, and he was the main reason why they really actually went to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah,
the backup quarterback is the famous person in the NFL besides Kansas City. Unless you back it up Patrick Mahomes, you ain't that famous.
Well, I think Chad Henne's pretty famous in these parts.
Anything
for some
is possible, man. Anything is possible.
Again, Carson Wentz, I think he's a big pickup for the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, I can't see what he do in the preseason. When we get to see the second team be very more fiction going down in preseason. But hey, he got an arm. He can move out the pocket. So, hey, we'll see. Go ahead, Dre.
Hey, real quick, though. His Achilles heel was injuries. It wasn't like the man was playing bad. It's his injuries. He just get banged up. So now you come to a team with a decent offensive line. And again, with Andy Reid behind the ram, he'll be just fine. Man, Chiefs ain't going to miss a beat. To me, I feel like the Chiefs have upgraded. They have upgraded in their position. So I'm all for it. I like Carson Wentz.
Well, the bottom line is we hope he never sees the field. I mean, it's really you need to have a backup quarterback. But again, with Patrick, it's just really going to be that kind of guy that sits with him, that they can talk over things, bounce things back and forth, because the bottom line is you never want to see him play. I mean, seriously. Do any of you want to see him? I don't want to see him play. That means there's something wrong with Patrick. Maybe week 18, if we've clinched number 1 seed, and
I think it'll be well before that this year.
Everybody's sitting.
If Mahomes keep running like he's been doing, you're going to see Carson Wentz. So if he keeps running like that, you're going to see him.
But I think Patrick's been a hell of a lot more judicious with that. And he's done a good job of knowing when the play is over. Slide, get out of bounds, whatever that is. But he was the presumptive MVP until he got hurt that year against the Rams.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the only reason Nick Foles plays is because Carson got hurt. He more than likely would have been MVP that season. So we know he has it in him. He's just had some hiccups along the way. I don't know what happened in Indianapolis. But again, if McVay took him on and was able to learn that system and was able to be that sounding board for Matt Stafford, I'm in. So let's go. I mean, you got to have a backup quarterback, and this is the guy. I don't think Chris Oladikin's ready for that piece yet.
No, probably not. So before we get done, I'm going to address a couple of the fans. John Harrison, Eagles fans don't get along with many people. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Our friend Frank, afternoon, gentlemen. Frank, welcome. And of course, as mentioned, we did miss our friend Chad Henne, as you said, anything is possible, but anything, whatever it is. We owe him a huge debt of gratitude. We owe him a huge debt of gratitude for the work that he did. Really, I think one of the things that's overlooked about Henne was, he came in. I think he was with the Chiefs 3 years, and he really saw that, helped Patrick, kind of take that next step. And as much as Alex Smith is credited for the success of Patrick Mahomes, I think Chad Henne deserves some of this too. And I think Carson Wentz, with that experience, these are two young guys. They're only separated by 3 years of their draft class, or 2 years of the draft class. I'm not 100% certain on that. But, with that said, you got a guy who, knows the system. He did good work with the Rams because he, came in for Matt Stafford, and I thought he played pretty well. So I think it's a terrific signing. I mean, I think it was an important signing.
Excellent.
That's all that matters. That's one less thing the Chiefs have to address going forward in free agency and into the draft. Not that I thought they would take a young quarterback, but this was a big piece of the offseason plan, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely.
What did Blaine Gabbert do wrong? I guess is the real.
No, he didn't do anything wrong. He just didn't. The Chiefs kind of felt like they couldn't get wins, so they went with the next best guy, and he didn't particularly play well in his opportunity against the Chargers. He really, really, really struggled, and if it wasn't for turnovers and Chris Jones.
He looked really good on the sideline, though. Again, sources near me say that he looked pretty good on the sideline.
Yeah, well,
sources is usually
Lou doesn't want to see the man. Lou doesn't want to see the man on the field. But Lou, you're going to see Carson Wentz on the field in the preseason, sir. I mean, if he come out,
preseason, absolutely.
I know, knock on wood, we get that.
Inconsequential games, all for it. But
we don't need Mahomes knocking his kneecaps out of socket either. So we want to avoid that. But I'm gonna say this: if I have faith in Carson Wentz to take over it,
would they 4th and 1 at the goal line? Do they put in the rugby player
do they put him in? Absolutely.
Put him in, and hey, short yards field. Hey, it probably can happen. But again, welcome to the team. We accept you with open arms. Besides Lou, we'll accept you with open arms.
As soon as he gets stopped on a fourth down, immediately, why are you taking the best player on the planet ever off the field?
Right.
What are you doing?
But again, another signing that happened yesterday. A lot of Chiefs fans are a little bit upset about is Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I like him. I like him being signed back because he showed a lot.
1-year deal. You know what I mean? So, what do you guys think about this? Go ahead.
Listen. What you mean,
Lou?
I was talking,
go ahead, Lou.
Sir.
Well, they didn't do the 5th-year option for a reason. Okay, I mean, so whatever they signed him to, it's going to be very minimal. They need a running back. Obviously, he's been around. He's made some plays when they've asked him to. He's not the guy that they expected him to be. He's just, I don't know if he doesn't see it quite that well. He just doesn't have the juice or the quickness to really, I don't know, in the hold. I mean, sometimes he just seems very indecisive. He's better between the tackles and coming out of the backfield. So maybe, it's kind of an insurance policy if Jet McKinnon doesn't come back. I know they had J.K. Dobbins in yesterday. That was the big news there, or at least rumored.
What happened there?
You got to believe that he was there just for a physical because they've seen him play. I'm sure they scouted him really well when he was at Ohio State, and they were high on him then. Mm-hmm. So here's another former, high draft pick. It fits into Veach's wheelhouse. So these two things are kind of married together. I mean, I saw somebody mention, well, maybe they just brought him in, and I'm sure they were being sarcastic, as just leverage to get Clyde.
Yeah, I don't think that was the case.
It made me laugh though. But so again, if Dobbins is healthy, they'll sign him. If he's not, maybe the knee just isn't quite ready, and they're seeing it as a liability or something. He's not going to be ready right away, especially a new player coming in. If he's not available for OTAs and mini camp, and they have to wait till training camp, there's other options. There's the draft. Right. So as far as Clyde is concerned, again, 1-year deal. I'm sure it's maybe just a little bit over the vet minimum, and he's been around. They know him. They like him. So
yeah, it doesn't hurt. I mean, there's no downside to it. I don't particularly think he can do a whole lot, for this offense. And I don't think he's the change of pace guy they need. They need a guy with, a lot of speed, guy who can see the holes, but he's good. He's halfway decent in pass protection, not as good as Pacheco. He's good in the screen game. He had some fumble issues. He's gotten over that, but, to me, he's still going to be the third back.
Honestly, guys, the man produced down the stretch. Every time they call on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he produces, man. He had that one little fumble against Baltimore, and everybody was just beating him down. But other than that, he produced. I mean, he's only getting better. So I believe that's a good signing because he does produce when his name is called. So I have no issue with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The man produces, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, I guess your definition of produces every time might be a little looser than most, but
yeah, because he averaged 3 yards per carry, like 3-point-some yards a carry. That's still high. I mean, compared to what we did with
not good. That's not good at all. I mean,
but listen,
what metrics are you using, Coach? Come on.
Okay. Let me give you this. If you look at this, Clyde Edwards-Helaire been efficient under Andy Reid in that offense, right? And we know Pac is he's getting beat up right now. But every time his number is called,
the ability at times, but he's not very consistent as a ball carrier. That's why.
What you mean by consistent though?
Getting positive yardage on a regular basis. I mean,
but if you look at pocket more the carries anyway. So what you mean?
When he's had opportunities to start or to play or get any significant playing time, he hasn't shown the burst that they need in the run game. Now, he will catch passes out of the backfield. He is a willing pass protector. I'm not going to begrudge him that. I mean, I like the guy. Seems like a good dude. He just doesn't have the juice or the burst to be a guy that you can rely on to give the ball 12 to 15 times a game, even 5 to 10 times a game. But in a pinch, he's gonna know where to be, when to be there, because he's been around long enough, and I think he's smart enough. But in terms of just having that burst, he doesn't have it. If he he hasn't shown it on a regular basis.
I mean, you gotta understand though. Remember, Pot takes majority of the carries anyway, but when he's on the field, he does produce. It's not like he's averaging 2 yards a carry.
Well, doesn't it tell you something that the 7th round pick is the starter now over the 1st round pick?
I mean, if you look at, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is this: he's a good quality guy for Kansas City. He knows the offense now. He knows Patrick Mahomes. He knows it.
He'll be
it's a good signing.
He's a good third back.
What I'm hearing from both of you guys is he's good. But what I look at it is this way: should they sign him? No. Hey, I'm against this signing. Now I'm not against everything else. I'm against this signing with the hammer down. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's a good player. He's good at all, but shoot, man, it's more backs out there. You got other backs that's out there. They're still out there, But, would they draft somebody? Maybe. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, yeah. He just don't hit the hole very well for me. He just don't. He don't get it. He don't get it there where he's supposed to be at. Man. One minute you watch a film, it's a big opening right here. He runs the opposite way.
There's also no guarantee that he makes the team.
There's no guarantee he makes the team. No guarantee, but
my biggest thing is just the experience he have under Andy Reid. Like it's not like he's horrible. So I ain't gonna say
that's probably the biggest reason that they would bring him back.
Right there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So what people in the chat saying about it, Cherry? Go ahead, let them know.
Oh, I thought I was gonna let Nick go ahead and kill. Nick been killing it. Go ahead, Nick.
All right.
Killing it, Nick.
So Anonymous Mango, the CEH touchdown against New England was wild. Yeah, it was. That was a play I didn't expect he could make.
Great catch.
It was a great catch.
Put some respect on him, man.
Yeah. Also, he mentioned McKinnon had alluded to being done in Kansas City a few weeks ago on his Instagram story. I don't see them bringing him back. If they bring anybody back, I think it's gonna be Dobbins. Ken Sinclair, yeah, like you said, he won't do it because of the age. Got a new guy, Mac Jones. Love it. Can Daddy Reed please make a Twade for me? I love it. I love it. I love it. That's all good. And then Ken Sinclair, Edwards is fine. He does several things well. Might be a decent third down back if McKinnon does not come back, which again, it doesn't do it. And then, of course, Anonymous Mango. I love this one. The new running back room, Pacheco, CEH, and Reese Zammit. Hey, and a shout out to all the over the pond people who reached out to our YouTube channel and to me. Some great insight that they sent. I'm gonna take some of that insight and turn it into an article here this week. But there were so many other things and news going on that it was kind of difficult to do. But they are generally pretty excited that he's part of the team, and so I think that's a great thing, and I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. He'll be a very popular off-season OTA minicamp training camp guy. He has not met with the media yet. I'm expecting that to happen at some point in the next day or two. So that should be pretty interesting as well.
What did he say here? Remind us, we go get that one else. I'll put it on the screen.
And then Nate Taylor did mention the visit with J.K. Dobbins was productive for both parties. Could they still sign him? I think we've answered that. I think yes. Now, productive for both parties mean they think he's reasonably healthy. They think they can come up with a reasonable contract. He's probably gotten similar contracts with other teams. He did visit the Chargers, where his old offensive coordinator is the running backs coach out there, I think. And so he's got a decision to make. He did post a video of him running, a 20, 30-yard sprint. So it looked to me like, he wasn't favoring anything. He looked good. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I wouldn't rule that out. I don't think the Chiefs are going to draft a running back in this draft. I think they're going to go with these three guys potentially. And then whatever they get from Reese, it's just a bonus at this point. But I think it's still a possibility that they sign him.
Yeah. But looking at all that other stuff, man. But we had a little more breaking news that happened earlier today. That everybody thinks that Texas is going to be on the Chiefs' radar. What do y'all think about this trade here is happening in the AFC? The Buffalo Bills are completely done. What you guys say about it? Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, they're cooked. I mean, this is just a total give up. I mean, Diggs wanted out. He had posted something on one of his social media and said something about Allen, and that was the end of it. Listen, it's really simple for a guy if he wants to get off a roster. Stephon Diggs has done it twice now. He knows how to leave with a bang and get what he wants. And so, the Bills traded him to the Houston Texans for a 2024 and a 2024 6th-round pick and a 2025 5th-round pick. The Bills get a 2025 2nd-round pick. And the cap hit for Buffalo is pretty significant. So I don't understand trading him to a team that's probably going to knock you out of the playoffs. And this is the post. Does Josh benefit from having a top tier receiver? Yes. Is he essential to success? No. Diggs. You sure? Listen, we've been talking about this ever since the offseason that he wanted out. He wanted out during the season. I'm sure he wanted to come play for the Chiefs. I'm sure the Chiefs would have gladly sent that package over in a trade, to acquire him. But again, what version of Stephon Diggs are you getting? Are you getting the guy who's kind of a whiny, tough in the locker room guy? He's lost some skill set. Or people were thinking that he's going to the Texans, he's going to be the guy he was 4 years ago, and that's not the case. He's not that player. But for the Texans, I love it. I mean, it's just they're going for it. They're truly building a team that the Chiefs are going to have to contend with if all the parts and pieces they've added. You're talking about free agents, trades, draft picks, the expectation from last year to be a winner, to be a team that is expected to win the division. The Jacksonville Jaguars have something to say about it, but you got Stroud, you got Joe Mixon, you got Stephon Diggs, you got Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz. That's a pretty impressive group of guys right there. That's a formidable offensive threat for any defense in the AFC or NFC. And if CJ Stroud cannot hit the sophomore jinx and the sophomore wall, I mean, they're the front runner to win the division on paper, but they still have to prove it. Their schedule is going to be tougher. They've got a first place schedule. They're going to play in Kansas City, which now might be the opening weekend game. Probably makes more sense to do that game than any other game, but maybe NBC and CBS are going to do it differently. But then again, we got the champ. The Bills look like fools. So I don't know. I'm shocked that they made this trade to the Texans.
And
I'm not shocked they made the trade.
You know what's going to happen on draft day? The Bills going to need a wide receiver. And Chiefs going to jump all the way from 32 right in front of them again and take the receiver. And that's what they're always going to do. The Bills are just they done, man. They had a chance. They had a chance to beat the Chiefs. They had a chance to beat the. I don't know what to say to more. Like, hey, you gave up your first round pick to let the Chiefs jump all the way up there to get Patrick Mahomes, and then you had White that you with the Chiefs pick you drafted White, and then he ain't on the team no more.
No,
and then you try to get McDuffie, and the Chiefs jumped up there in front of with New England and got McDuffie, and now you got Diggs, and Diggs don't want to be there. He see that they arguing on the sideline, he wide open, but everybody saying Josh Allen this great quarterback, and his locker room is saying otherwise.
Yeah, they lost Gabe Davis. Yeah,
the locker room saying otherwise. The locker room ain't saying he's a great quarterback. Now, now you down there in rebuild mode. This is way more greater for the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh yeah, the Chiefs
they started this purge, I guess, right before the league year started to get to get under the cap. They continue this, and I think there's a lot of personal reasons here. Again, all the question marks that were coming up, his relationship with Josh Allen, so forth, and it was like rinse and repeat. The same thing happened in Minnesota with Kirk Cousins. Okay, I see that. I see they make the move. From Houston's perspective, now's the time to go for it. You've got this great rookie quarterback. He's on the rookie deal. Right. So now you're going to spend money, and they've spent money on both sides of the ball. You've got the coaching staff in line, but everything looks better. Every one of these moves looks better because the quarterback hit. So to Nick's point, in terms of the sophomore slump or whatever you want to call it, more than likely he's not going to happen. I think CJ Stroud's a kid that has proven now that there's more to football than taking a cognitive test and saying that you don't know football. Well, evidently that cognitive test has gone by the way of like the mastodons and dinosaurs. It's gone. But I thought they were good last year. Right? We thought they were an up and coming team last year, and they've done nothing but improve both sides of the ball. They're probably going to have another good draft. I think Caserio is really kind of announced himself to the league. It was kind of a mess when they had the half-assed televangelist running the show down there in Jack Easterby. And I think Cal McNair made the wise move and picked the right guy.
Yeah, they got lucky.
The football guy.
They got lucky. Yeah, they got lucky all the way around. They picked the right head coach. They changed the things in the front office.
Well, we could call it luck, or they made wise moves.
Well,
They were
can we say
fortunate.
this? Well, can we say this, guys? Can we say this? Let's put some respect on the Texans, what they're doing. Lou, I get what you're saying. It got to mesh well. Diggs is 30 plus. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully his personality can contribute and bring knowledge to the young veteran, to young rookie wide receiver, the young wide receivers. But at the same time, I love what they did. I love what they're doing in Texas right now. They're building something great down there in Texas, right in Houston right now. So to me, I love it. And CJ, man, like his ceiling to me is crazy because the man went out there produced with a bunch of nobodies, with a bunch of nothing. Who knew Tank Dell was? Who knew what Tank Dell was? Tank Dell was small frame guy, but he was getting busy. Nick Collins was getting busy. Schwartz was getting busy. Now you add pieces that going to contribute into the growth of this team. So my thing is, hey, I'm all for it. This can be the team that's going to compete against Kansas City. I can see them down stretch.
And I wouldn't bury the Bills just yet.
They're done.
Not saying that they're all of a sudden going to make a big leap, but I don't think they're actually going to regress much either. It wasn't like Diggs was being dominant at the end of last year. Right. It seemed like they found a little bit different way to play, much the way that the Chiefs did, but using the tight ends more, using the receivers more, and quite frankly, letting Josh Allen run the ball a little bit more. You've got Cook in the backfield. So again, I'm not ready to write them off. I mean, are we going to put our money on Tua, or certainly not New England? And the Jets have a bunch of old dudes coming off of injuries. Are all those going to hang together? Yeah. So I'm still sticking with Josh Allen in that division.
Right, that's fair.
They're not going to be a bad team, but again, they're not going to be very improved right off the bat either. We'll see what they do in the draft and so forth. But they still have one of the best weapons, I mean, outside of Patrick, in the league. So they're still going to be good.
Yeah, I feel like Buffalo, they're done. They cooked. Hey, they done. Hey, Lou, you just got to look at it. Josh Allen's not that guy. The locker room's the guy.
Wait a second. So who's going to win that division? Who's going to win the division?
The Jets will win that division. The Jets going to win that division.
Jets will win
the Jets. The Jets will win the division.
Okay, we all heard the same BS last year when
the Jets will win their division. Right. The Bills are done. Josh Allen's not that guy. Nobody want to play with him. Nobody want to play with Josh Allen. Nobody want to play with him. Josh Allen is done. Josh Allen's not that guy. Josh Allen is done.
Let him make the bet.
I will book all action on the Jets winning that division.
You said the Jets beating the Texans, so you said the Jets is going
to win the division.
Division. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. To win the division.
More than likely. Do you see how many things have to go exactly right for that to happen? You got a 40-year-old quarterback coming off of an Achilles. The left
he did not deserve
the left tackle's like 33 or 34, coming off of several injuries with Dallas the last few years. The right tackle,
you're right. I got you. Just take it.
So again, okay. On paper, it looks wonderful.
Yeah.
But in reality, go ahead. Go bet on that. Let's see how that works.
All right,
you know one thing I can bet on? I can bet on this. The Chiefs are going to jump. The Chiefs going to jump right in front of the Bills and take a wide receiver and even crush them even more. Either way, everybody want to battle this guy. Everybody want to build to beat this guy. But end of the day, the guy got to bet. So go what you got to say, Dick.
All right. Let's talk about a couple of comments. Val Shepard, definitely a new person or female. I'm not really sure. So welcome to the show. Remember Diggs' first departure to Minnesota. The Vikings replaced him with Justin Jefferson the same year. So hey, it's entirely possible. He also weighs in on the Jets. No way the hallucinogen Rodgers has that kind of season. And his third comment was they will compete for the number 1 seed. I don't think there's any question about that. Gary chimed in as well. Texans have a stacked offense. Let's see how they improve. And again, they all have to be cohesive, guys. They all have to fit.
They got to come together.
They got to come together. And that you got a lot of personalities. I mean, even Joe Mixon, he was a guy that had his own he beat to his own drum, and Diggs beats to his own drum, and you know the amount of pressure that CJ Stroud's going to be under now with the expectations. Hey, look what my team did for me. The fact that the Jacksonville's been out there signing players and trading players equally as efficient as the Texans, that's going to be a good division all of a sudden.
Right,
the Colts have improved to some degree. I think the Titans obviously have improved. Lego Maego mentioned Titans fans are really hyped about what they're building over there, and I think so too. So, listen, again, it all has to mesh, but if I'm a betting man, this is either the Chiefs season opener or it's their second primetime game. Maybe this is a week 4 matchup on NBC. I think there'll be some look for some announcements for a couple of these games here over the next couple of weeks, especially the first one. So listen, I love it. I think this is good for the NFL. It's certainly good for the Chiefs to have competition at some point. Maybe there's another Bengals situation out there, but the Chiefs are kings until someone knocks them off. But I would give the Texans and the Bengals the best chance to do so. But this offense is thick. It's good. I think it's a good thing the Chiefs have basically kept their entire defense together. Obviously, they lost Snead, but they've got some capable guys. They're getting Cook back, who should be ready by training camp, certainly by the regular season. So, they'll probably draft another corner.
That's nice. All that to say what? Dude, Patrick Mahomes is still going to be the top of the king, top of the AFC. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everybody can build whatever they can want to build. But again, they are going to be a great team, a great young team. That's how you're supposed to build. You got a young quarterback. Right. You got a young team over there. You got the salary cap to do it. So why not? Why not to see what you had? They almost went all the way. They almost took out the Baltimore Ravens until they fell apart in the second half. But
they could have had them.
Other than that, they could have had them. It could have been the Chiefs and the Texans. But again,
you want that problem, boy. You want that one with that little young gun right there, bro. He was hot. He was sizzling, man.
What problem? What problem?
Continue to talk, sir. Continue.
Hello, you said we don't want that. We got. As long as I got the men wearing 15, I ain't worried about nobody else out here.
Listen. You right? Go ahead. Continue, Bo. You right? Go ahead.
Talk about something. What problem? Hey, when somebody show me there's a problem, that is a problem. Right. It ain't no problem. Right. But the only one there's a problem is, Eric, let's get right into Dave Purdy. It's great. He got some new announcement to go on today. What you got for us, Nick?
All right, we're going to talk about my good friend, Mr. Dave Purdy, and he is with a new company, Edge Home Finance, still the same guy. This is something Dave's been working on for a while. And we are officially announcing it today that he has switched companies for the better. This is the mortgage company that has secured my loan. And thanks to Dave, he spent a lot of time making sure my wife, Emily, and I were able to get the loan that we needed. Still the same phone number, 816-405-5831. And again, if you're looking for a specialist, if you're looking for somebody who has an understanding of how mortgage loans work, it's not easy anymore. It's extremely complicated. It's like solving the national debt problem. If you're self-employed or if you're a W-2, you need someone who understands the numbers, has a plethora of options as a broker to be able to go out and find the best loan option. And brokers usually have more opportunities to get better rates, even better than banks, especially local banks. And that's why you need to choose my good friend, Dave Purdy. You can email him at dave.purdy@edgehomefinance.com, or you can give him a call on the same number, 816-405-5831. We love Dave because he is
pretty good. And Dave,
we have
in the spirit of Chiefs Blitz is now coming off the edge. That's go.
Right.
Dave.
Let's go. Love it.
So we had an update to I can't find it, but somebody find it. Update to Rasheed Rice's attorney just released a statement. So go ahead. If you can find it.
You guys talk, I'll look. All right.
But again,
Mango's talking about Eric All. He's an Iowa tight end. He was looking for Lou's opinion on this. Wow. You really think I have one? Of course I do. Highly recruited dude. Iowa, you can go through the list of guys that have come into the league at tight end and done extremely well. Very athletic dude. If he's over his injury issues, I think he's up there at very least with Theo Johnson out of Penn State. You have to put him, maybe like 2-3 in this class. I don't think anybody is going to take Brock Bowers over at any time soon. Now, again, if he's over the injury issues, good player, and I would put him, certainly up there with Jatavian Sanders and Theo Johnson from Penn State.
Yeah, but go and get some more comments, Dre. What they got going on?
All right, real quick. Let's see here. Freeway says CJ Stroud with that offense is a bigger threat than Burrow, Allen, and Lawrence. Absolutely. I agree. I'm a Burrow guy, man, but CJ shocked me last year, man. He shocked me with what he had. Again, we're gonna let that slide.
Josh Allen, Joe Burrow is not those guys as you actually kind of seeing right now when it's all said and done. Josh Allen, we're gonna see what he do without Diggs. What he do without Diggs? Because Josh Allen wasn't that great without Diggs. So
what did they really lose? The Bills lost Diggs. They lost Diggs. They lost White. Who else did they lose?
They lost Davis. Gabe Davis.
What did Gabe Davis really do?
That was all their starters. They lost their starter wide receiver.
Yeah, their receiving core is completely different. They brought in Curtis Samuel. He hasn't really shown the potential that everybody was expecting coming out of Ohio State yet. Shakir, I thought, came on a little bit last year with the opportunities that he got. I think they're, it's going to be more of a tight end based team, until they do get another number one receiver. You got Kincaid, you got Dawson Knox. They're going to lean into that. Cook coming out of the backfield. So again, it may look different, but again, I don't know that they've fallen off a cliff. I think the losses on defense are probably a little bit worse than the losses on offense. So I think they're still going to score some points. We'll see what happens on defense, though, because the back end, those safeties have been there for years. Hyde, so it should be interesting to see. But I think they're still the class of that division.
Yeah, I don't see the statement. I don't see the statement yet. So I know Lego Maego just posted something. I haven't seen it yet, so either put the link in there for us to review, or I'll keep looking.
Absolutely.
But again, with the Bills picking there, I think they pick at 23, correct? 23. I may be wrong, or maybe.
Make sure you're right, sir. 25, now make sure now it's getting critical. It's getting critical with these Bills.
It might be 20. It might be 25.
25. If they probably go Brian Thomas Jr.
If they
probably go Thomas Jr. there.
If they like one of these receivers, I see them. If they're going to be aggressive, maybe try to move up and get if one of those some of those top guys start slipping.
Marvin Harrison start to fall. They're going to jump up, try to grab.
I don't blame them.
I don't know about trying. They would have to probably trade into the top 10 to do that. I don't know that they're able to go that high, but in order
the draft
to get
is deep, gentlemen. The draft is
right.
Deep.
So it depends if like a bunch of quarterbacks go early, if a bunch of the offensive tackles starts to push down the wide receivers,
right,
then I think the Chiefs and the Bills both may look to move up.
They got questions out here, Dre, so get in the bag.
Go at it.
Well, hold on now. Lou was talking now. All right, don't do that. Lou was talking. All right, I'm going to get to it. Okay. So Anonymous Mango says this. He said, and why is Hense taking Brandon Rice? That's what you wanted to hear. That's what you wanted to hear, wasn't it? That's what you wanted to hear. That's why you said it. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, guys. Brandon Rice. The reason why I'm taking Brandon Rice is because, look, his dad has been coached by his dad. His dad he's always coming to lead that he already had it. He don't got to prove to nobody that he never had this before, but he already had it. He already know how to be in the league, just like Patrick Mahomes was knew how to be professional because he was around a locker room with a lot of professional guys, and little Brandon Rice seen that too. So in his route running, the way he played with Caleb Williams, and they say Patrick Mahomes and Caleb Williams play the same. his route running. Dre will vouch for it. Dre, you see the man's route, man. It's unreliable.
I think the man's route running, he is nice. He do compliment Patrick Mahomes. He does.
So Dre, even though they asked me that question, if you had to pick a wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, what receiver are you taking for the Kansas City Chiefs and why?
Man, it's a pleather, man. It's a pleather. I think it's Xavier Leggett.
Yeah, I think Leggett. I think Leggett too.
I think Leggett. Big guy, good speed, route running, good separation, got good hands, can go get the ball. There's not a route that man can't run. The man quiet. He doesn't have an issue off the field, sir. Mm-hmm. He's good. So I like Xavier Leggett, man. That man is a beast. A lot of guys don't know about him from South Carolina. That man is a beast, man.
Well, because I think his first 4 years, he had about 500 yards combined. And he really blew up his senior year. Now, again, I think we've talked about this before. I mean, the better relationship with Spencer Rattler as a senior and things like that. It's just difficult sometimes to spend a first-round pick on somebody that just blew up in their senior year. We've seen it before with guys like that, and again, it's first round. You're drafting traits. You want the most athletic guys, the biggest guys, the fastest guys, right? And I think that's where Brendan Rice is not going to be a first-round pick, is that he's not as athletic as some of these other guys. Now, that doesn't say he can't be effective.
Take shots, sir.
He can't be effective in the NFL. I just don't see him being a first-round pick because of that.
Like, that's a good Lou, real quick, Lou. I got you, Lou. But sometimes if it's your senior year, you showing who you really are. So what happened was that man came out there and he blew up. He dominated. He's not really thought of.
So I'm like, even though I threw that question at Dre, so what are you? Who, if you picking a wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, who are you taking, Lou? Who's going to fit the team very well?
I like AD Mitchell. I like his athleticism. Even Xavier Worthy might be a good fit if Mitchell's off the board. The guys at the top, obviously, any of them, right?
You can pick anybody. That's what I'm saying. You can pick anybody, though, Lou.
If you could
get up for Bowers,
if you could get Harrison, if you could get Bowers, these guys, the athleticism, the jumping ability, all that is there. So that's who you'd really want to have. Now, who might be there at 32 for them? I don't know that Mitchell falls that far, but if he did, I would say let's get him.
I already know who it's going to be, and we all saying I'm saying Brendan Rice, Jay saying Leggett, he said AD Mitchell. Everybody knows it's going to be Torrey Franklin. It's going to be Torrey Franklin. It's going to be there. The Chiefs probably take Torrey Franklin because he is a great route runner too. He beats zone. He's like a faster Travis Kelce. If you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
If I look at Travis Kelce, how he plays, Torrey Franklin plays. That's similar. He know how to get open, know how to beat the zone, know where to sit down in the zone. And the guy, his man beat, how he gets off the line is very dangerous. Like,
hold on, but real quick, Lou, let me ask you this: what do you think about Ladd, though? Hey, Lou,
he's
real quick, Lou,
what
do you think about Ladd?
What
do you think about Ladd, Lou? Yeah, that man to me, hey, he's nice.
Very, very accomplished. I mean, from what the scouts are saying, they like his burst, they like his ability to get open. He checks all the boxes. Plus, then he showed his explosiveness in the testing, so that's a big part of it. Again, playing at Georgia, it's difficult to see because these guys don't get a ton of shots on goal. Whether it was George Pickens, our own guy McCole Hardman, there really wasn't that much to see. AD Mitchell even transferred to Texas for him to really, come into his own.
A chance, yeah.
Even though at Georgia he was huge in the playoffs 2 years in a row. Right. So again, you kind of have to watch that. In terms of Franklin, I would say he's listed at like 175 pounds. So again, that's the other thing that you have to take into consideration. Again, depending on who is available at that pick. So Franklin, I agree with what you guys are saying. He's just a little bit more slight in build. 176, is that an accurate one? I don't, I think that's what he weighed in at the combine, but that would be my only red flag with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey,
Franklin ain't bad. I mean, he's not bad. His senior year, he came out there. He was very productive. Lou, like you stated earlier in the show about over the course years being productive. His best year was his last year. So he came out being very productive.
All these guys are really good. For those of you listening, don't get it wrong. It's not like these guys aren't going to make it in the NFL. What I'm saying is, if you're going to spend a first round pick, it's going to be, you're going to go for the traits. Yes, production has to be there to some degree, but for the most part, you're looking for the biggest, fastest guys. I mean, if you're going to make a mistake, you want it to be with a big dude that runs really fast.
Yeah. Let me update a couple of comments real quick. Kareem, I'm good on string bean Franklin. Hey, again, I have no problem with it. Kareem also mentioned if Worthy ain't there, get D Robinson from Missouri and get Ricky Pearsall at 64. I like that. That's definitely interesting. Freeway Reynolds, maybe like how they draft or anything. VP Mitchell didn't look too happy last night. Anonymous says he'll be a Chief. Kareem wants Worthy. And I think, listen, all these are good options for the Chiefs. If they go wide receiver in the first round, regardless if it's Rice or somebody else, they're going to get a guy who's going to be able to contribute on the field because there are more NFL ready wide receivers right now in the first 3 rounds. Maybe the 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th, obviously you may hit here or there, but generally those guys take a little bit more time normally. But I think in the first 3 rounds, you got guys who can contribute right away. And some guys are fast, some guys are good route runners, some guys are possession guys, some guys are tall, some guys are short. So you pretty much have a smorgasbord and a plethora of options to choose from. And again, it depends what Beach is. Listen, I mean, we knew Diggs was going to be traded, but who knows what Brett Veach is working on for a veteran wide receiver trade. Wouldn't that be interesting? Because now it appears the market is set and the price tags are set for premier receiver. So this kills the San Francisco 49ers, who've been shopping Brendan Ayuk, including the Chiefs, who probably have a strong interest in him as well. They pretty much lost all their leverage thanks to the Bills sending him, inside the conference. And I would think, I'm not sure they would want to trade with the Chiefs, but if the Chiefs offered him that similar package, they'd take it in a heartbeat because they're not going to sign the guy.
Do the Bills send that 25 second round pick to the 49ers to get, Brandon?
And that's entirely possible too. That this could be that would be a really smart move on their part. And maybe that's why they did it. And maybe that'll be announced at some point. But, you have to think that the wide receiver position, I mean, listen, Odell Beckham wants to be a Chief. There's no question about that. I think he would come for the NFL minimum. I think he would do an incentive-laden contract that could maybe get him at $5, $6, maybe $8 million or 10. They signed Hollywood Brown, and people seem to forget they signed Hollywood Brown, who was the first or second best free agent wide receiver available in this class. So, listen, good news is this is a great problem for the Chiefs to have. Don't worry about it. They're going to get a stud wide receiver in the first and or the second round. And I wouldn't be shocked if they drafted wide receivers in round 1 and round 2.
Kareem said if they draft Brandon Rice at 32, he's going to unfollow Hollywood Todd. He said he's going to unfollow him. He's going to unfollow
him. He doesn't have faith in your boy. He doesn't have faith in your boy.
I'm trying to tell you guys. It's reason I'm saying Brandon Rice. I'm being realistic, guys. Yes, we want all those other guys that's great and everything else. I'm being realistic. Who's going to be there at 32 when we pick a 32 and 64?
Oh, he's definitely going to be there at 32.
No, it's a for show. He's a for show 32 guy.
Y'all laughing, and he end up becoming the best wide receiver in this draft. I'm gonna sit here. I'm saying I want everybody to eat chocolate pudding for the rest of the month.
Hence. That may happen, but the bottom line is the draft is about getting value and also drafting on traits. And he may become the best receiver in this group, but they're not taking him in the first round. It's just not happening.
But we'll be realistic. If it was a perfect world and the Chiefs can get the best receiver in this draft, for me, it will be a doomsday. But it's not a perfect world. A doomsday is not going to be there. You can, it ain't not going to be there. But one guy that is going to be there, and one guy I really like, and one guy I really, watch his tape, watch his interviews, and watch how the daddy and that would be a perfect match. You know what I mean? Besides what's going on with the Chiefs wide receiver room right about now, Brandon Rice would fit very well and bring that type of culture into this locker room. A young man that's already built and ready for the league.
Yep, I don't disagree with you. Maybe they fall back to pick 40 and they're 35.
Yeah, right. So
he's grown by
trade back.
I get it.
Or hell, there's a good shot he's there at 64.
Yeah. If I'm right, everybody eating chocolate pudding for the rest on the show.
Yeah,
all doing the show.
McCaffrey's dad was pretty good, and the son turned out really good in the NFL. So
look at Marvin Harrison. Look at Marvin Harrison's son.
Marvin Harrison. You got John and Joe Alt. I mean, you got.
I know are you seriously going to bet against Luke McCaffrey? Like if he's like a 5th or 6th round pick?
No, I'm not going to bet against him either.
No.
Hey, so Lou, it's a plethora of good receivers out here, guys. It doesn't even matter because as long as the Andy Reid is behind the strings, it doesn't. Well,
it matters because not all of them are going to be great players.
Kansas City Chiefs have just signed MVS. He is back on the Kansas. I'm just playing. Y'all gonna be really mad.
Today is April.
Today actually wouldn't make me mad, to be honest with you.
Today is April 3rd. Hence, you missed the memo. That was a Monday thing.
But again, guys, I feel like if a perfect world, a doomsday would be the guy that I want to be on the Chiefs. Perfect world, right? Perfect world. I would love to have a doomsday.
I put Ladd over doomsday. I like Ladd for some reason. Ladd is the guy that get in between. He know the zones, good short hands, man, quick twitch, can get in and out of his routes. I like Ladd. Ain't nobody talking about Ladd. Ladd showed me some stuff in the last couple of days now. Ladd is not.
Yeah, y'all gonna pick him at number 4.
It's tough with it's tough with those Georgia receivers because you don't, there's not a ton, there's not a ton of production.
Right, Chris Conley.
You have to project a lot. Right?
Nico Hardman. It's a lot of guys that came.
Your guy Pickens that you thought was a stud. George Pickens was a stud.
Pickens has 1,000-yard year, sir. So what you talking about?
I bet he did.
I think it's about time to play a game.
Oh, hold on, one more thing before we get to that. No. I want to answer Val Shepard's question because it's a really good one. Not that the other ones aren't, but who's getting cut if we have 2 rookie wide receivers? If they draft 2 young kids, I mean, they're making the team, especially if they're rounds 1, 2, or 3. You got Kadarius Toney, you got Sky Moore, you got Justin Watson,
Justin Ross.
You got Ross. I would say it's going to be 2 of those 4.
Everybody forgetting about what's his name?
Nico Remigio, who I think is going to be a star for this football team. At least a star in the preseason.
The competition will be huge, and
he's 100%. He's completely healed.
That's what you want, guys. Hey, listen,
it's
competition. Yeah,
I don't think they'll take 2 wide receivers high. If somebody slips like into the 5th and 6th round and they really like them, they might. But if they really feel like they need to improve the receiver position, like we all think they do, but again, Brett Veach might have a totally different take on this. He's saying publicly all the right things about KT and Sky. Again, that's just kind of self-preservation. He made those moves. But if you get rookies coming in there and they're beating these guys in training camp, it's going to be obvious. So if you have to predict right now on April 3rd, I would say probably Toney because he just can't seem to get out of his own way.
I think they may give Sky Moore another chance in special teams. That's a possibility, but I think Toney would excel in the special teams. To be perfectly honest with you,
is that going to be enough to keep him as one of the 5 or 6 riders?
I think you keep him all the way. You keep him all the way till the final cut down day, and you make a decision then.
Right.
See what he can do. Hopefully, he won't. Tear any ACLs, MCLs, or his meniscus on the other way.
Knock on wood. Shut up, Nick.
But again, the guy has talent. I mean, I still say the guy has talent, and I thought for sure they would have cut him by now. they only save a couple million, but I think they're going to keep him and just see what they can get out of him. If he's got his head together and, he can put past a miserable season, he's got two fans in Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, and that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, there's no reason to cut him now.
No, I think he and Justin Ross are the most likely candidates. Watson's pretty cap friendly next year, and he's consistent enough that I think Patrick wants him on the field. And then Sky Moore, I don't think you give up on that talent. I just think he had a bad year, and he'll put it together. If they sign OBJ, then we're talking a different conversation.
I just don't feel that. That's just not with their mindset right now.
It depends.
I don't think they're going at that age with that type of player, meaning somebody that's going to, demand a very large part of the offense. I think the only player that they would go to for that might be a Tyler Boyd, and that's only if Rasheed is lost.
Yeah, that rumor's out there too.
For a number,
Rasheed
for a number of games.
Yeah, Rasheed Rice is going to be suspended, and it's going to be 4, 6, 8 games, somewhere in that category. We couldn't find the new update, but his agent did indicate, or his lawyer did indicate, that he is cooperating with police. He did admit to being in the car. We're not sure if that meant as a passenger or driver. We have heard from a couple of the victims in some very lengthy interviews. Everybody's okay. Nobody got hurt. Some people are going to get paid. The car is going to get replaced. I don't know what a new Lamborghini costs these days, but it's
per Florio at PFT. I mean, Mr. Lawyer, in Texas, there's a law on the books that if you are caught racing, they can legally take your car away from you and sell it. So, at very least, he's going to have to buy a Lamborghini that he doesn't get to drive anymore.
Well, he's going to lose his license. His license is going to be suspended.
It was rented. Lamborghini was rented,
but it has to be replaced.
Right. He's going to have to.
So the company's going to want something back.
He has already stated that he will take care of the car. In fact, that was the first text message was to the rental car company and said, "Hey, I'll pay for the damage. I was just in an accident."
It is the law.
It's still the law, and there's a law that if you leave the scene of an accident in Texas, that it's a felony. So his lawyer's got some work to do. So here, our crack staff, Ken Sinclair, thinks it's $250,000. That's going to be a chunk of his 2023 pay or 24 pay. He doesn't get paid. He loses all that money for his salary for the games he missed.
He misses, yeah.
And again, the situation as we know it is today, clearly he was involved on scene. Clearly he is cooperating with police. Clearly he's in a lot of hot doo-doo. And Texas is different now. He has one of the top attorneys in Texas who happens to be, I believe he's a senator as well, or in Congress, one of the two, who has represented other famous athletes in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, with from the Texans to all the other teams. He also has, Rice has some long-standing connections and friends and associates from his time at SMU. So I think in the end, when it's all said and done, he's out 4 to 6 to 8 games. Chiefs are going to have to address that with either another veteran wide receiver or maybe get 2 in the draft and say, you're going to be back by November. You better be in shape. And it's going to take him weeks to acclimate. So we're looking at first week of December before he's going to be back on the field
if he's on Nick, if he's on that list, if he goes on the list, I don't know, but I seem to think, or at least somewhere in my memory, that he would be allowed to practice.
No, if he's on the commissioner's list, if he's on the commissioner's suspension list, he is not eligible to be in the building
at all. Okay.
Nothing. That's what happened with Justin Ross last year. Now, he was ultimately missed 5 weeks, and the punishment from the league was 6 weeks. So they just basically did 5 weeks as served as time. That may not be the case for Brendan Rice. If Brendan Rice is not on the commissioner's list, he can go to OTAs, mini camps, training camp. He can play in preseason games, just like Charles Omenihu last year. If the announcement is made prior to or at any point early in the season, and they decide they want to do it then, he's out 6 games away from the facility for 6 weeks. There is a provision that I think after halfway through or through the majority, like through 4 of the 6 game suspension, he can go to the facility to work with trainers and, just kind of do some of the things that he needs to do. But, we'll see. I mean, again, maybe he gets a judge that isn't favorable. Maybe his attorney can't pull the strings. The bottom line, he did this really stupid thing, and he's going to pay a heavy price for it. But, I know, Todd Lutz is on here, my good friend. He's going to spend an entire season at home. Todd, I don't agree with you on that one, but, I think definitely he's going to miss some time. And I could not find an updated response from the attorney today. So as soon as we get that, we'll have it up on chiefsblitz.com. What's that?
So listen, real quick. Kareem says he said Nick got Brandon Rice on the brain. Damn you, Hollywood.
Hey, all y'all gonna have him on the brain when he get drafted.
Rasheed Rice.
All right, not me. Nah, I like Ladd over Brandon. I like Ladd over Rice, man. If you're gonna break it down like that, I got Ladd over Rice.
But looking at having somebody over somebody, Andy Reid has from the Fox. They put out a bet against all the fans that who is the best head coach that's standing right now, and Andy Reid has won that statement so far. So what do you say about this, Lou?
They did a whole tournament to tell us what everybody already knows.
Everybody knew.
Well, I think it was interesting that Dan Campbell made it to the finals. I mean, the fans really like him, I guess.
Personality
beats McVay in the semis.
Mm-hmm.
That was a huge upset, I would think. But chalk is chalk. Like the NCAA tournament, I think UConn looks like is going to be a walkover in the Final Four. Andy Reid does the same thing in this bracket. So, way to go, Big Red.
Yeah, absolutely. Props to him. I mean, everybody knows he's the best coach in the NFL right now. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's got 3 Super Bowl titles. He's probably going to end up with 5, would be my guess. And that puts him in elite company. And he may not catch Belichick at 6, but I wouldn't rule out the opportunity as long as you got Patrick Mahomes as your as your quarterback. But I mean, listen, Andy's the best, and
it's personality though, for real, guys. Andy's personality is real big, and he loves his players. So he reminds me of Dick Vermeil. I'm a Dick Vermeil guy, and he's a players guy. So that's why they love him. Like Dan Campbell. He's a player's guy.
Haven't seen Big Red tear up yet, but yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Vermeil was a faucet, man. He just cried all the time.
Man, yes, he did, boy. You seen the passion in that man's eyes, man. But I loved it.
His opening press conference was just crazy. That was the first time I was at Arrowhead as a reporter, and he's just sitting up there with Carl Peterson and with Clark Hunt, and he's sobbing, he's crying. And I think it may have been Lamar. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, the guy was emotional, man. He's like Absolutely. He's Campbell. He just wears his emotions on his sleeve.
He does,
man. He does.
Great
towels around him all the time.
Great winemaker. He's a great winemaker.
Yeah. When I drank back in the day, his wine was pretty good.
So congratulations, Andy Reid, man. Well deserved. Yep. The fans are speaking, the hottest coach right now in the league right now. But speaking of the hottest coach in the league, we got the hottest game. This is the lead right now with Chiefs.
There we go, and strike up the band. Let's go. Here it is. Chiefs who? All right, gang. For those of you that are new to the show, yours truly will read off a bunch of concocted clues, to put it mildly, by myself. And you guys can guess which Chief this is. In other words, Chiefs who? All right, so let's go. This gentleman, first team all-conference as a senior, was also second team academic all-American.
Nick Bolton.
One of his favorite quotes, it is not Nick Bolton. One of his favorite quotes is keep God first. Speaking of firsts, Justin Herbert was his first.
Kareem's got a guess. Trey Smith.
It is not.
All right.
All right.
Paris Bucker.
He is not a fan of Lambeau. Not a fan of Lambeau Field. His best work was done in Europe. He's originally from one of the Queen cities.
Brian Cook.
We have a winner, Nick from way downtown.
Well, Nick, you can keep your stuff, sir.
Look at that.
That was right at the tip of my tongue. He said, Brian Cook.
Those of you out there that think the fix is in, absolutely. I fed it to Nick before the show. So thanks for playing. Just kidding, of course. Okay, so Brian is originally from one of the Queen cities. He's from Cincinnati.
Yep.
Started his career at Howard HBCU, the Howard Bison. Right. And a bison is not a buffalo. So there you go. What else? Justin Herbert, that was his first interception. Not a fan of Lambeau. That's where he injured his ankle. Did his best work in Europe. That's where he scored the 59-yard touchdown off of the lateral. Probably knows his way around the kitchen. Finished his college career in his hometown. So there you have it. Brian Cook.
Boy, you killed it. You killed it again, Lou. You killed it. Good job, Nick.
Got it
done. What can I say?
Chiefs.
He said this win lacks integrity. He said this win lacks integrity.
Brought to you by the Hurricanes Group.
Oh, come on, Kareem. You know, I have whiffed on all but 2 of these since last summer. So I don't want to hear the fixes in.
What guys, man, hey, after the so what you gonna treat yourself, Nick? What you gonna treat yourself?
Oh, I don't know. I got to close a house in 2 days, so I'm just gonna treat survival for the next 48 hours and hope for no hiccups. So that's my treat to myself.
Signing his life over is what he's doing.
I'm signing my life over. I'm increasing my debt load. So yeah. The only downside about buying a house is you look at that paper and you look at the amortization schedule.
Right.
Hey, Kareem loved it. Kareem loved it, man. Hold on real quick. Kareem loved it. He said, Nick, you got to wait for a couple more clues before you cheat, sir. Hey, man, Kareem's like, I'm tired of this.
I thought we were friends, Kareem.
We're not the best at this, Kareem. We're still figuring out.
Kareem said he unfollowing me. Nick cheating.
This is payback for Kareem because I mailed out his winter package about 2 weeks ago, and because he lives in Salt Lake City, which I believe has the worst U.S. Postal Service in the country,
Pony Express, baby.
It's been sitting at the post office for like 5 days, so hopefully it gets delivered to you before the start of the NFL season. That's my goal.
The horse that Coach continually wants to beat is the one that's riding his prize to Utah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of a prize, the Chiefs and the Royals have not got their prize.
They did not get a prize.
So what do you say about this, Nick? What you got to say about it?
Well, I mean, obviously, the residents of Jackson County. We think about 80,000 of registered voters. I think there's close to 250 to 300,000 registered voters in Jackson County, voiced their opinion, and they overwhelmingly rejected the continuation, the removal of the old tax and a continuation of a new tax that is still 1/3 cent with extra incentives. Both the Royals and the Chiefs have given back far better than the deal they signed when they started this 20 some odd years ago, when the stadium tax came to light, when they did the major renovations for Arrowhead and for Kauffman Stadium. The problem now is it opens a lot of questions. I wrote an article about it today at chiefsblitz.com, so definitely check it out. But in a summary portion, one, on the field, this is not going to affect the Chiefs' chance to three-peat. So let's throw that out there. Number two is for the Chiefs, they are not moving to San Antonio. They're not moving overseas. They're going to remain in Jackson County, go outside of Jackson County in the state of Missouri, or they're going to move to Kansas City, Kansas, out in Wyandotte, where the Legends facility is, the Legends area is. That's it. The Royals probably end up downtown, if not maybe Johnson County. But the bottom line is Frank White and Mayor Quentin Lucas are the two guys most responsible for the calamity of the potential of this situation, to where it's possible both franchises leave Kansas City or leave Jackson County, which would be a huge economic hit. In the Missouri budget, the Kansas City budget is at a record high. They have more funds now to do, what they want to do. So this whole situation was poorly done, and the Chiefs and the Royals have some responsibility. But I don't think people understand. By voting no, two things are assured. The Chiefs and the Royals are going to look elsewhere, and the Jackson County taxpayers are still on the hook for the previous deal signed, because that tax continues through 2032. This would have replaced it. It would have paid off the bonds. The bonds are still active, and those bonds have to be paid. And the only county that's paying for it is Jackson County. So they're going to be coughing up the money, because I don't think the Chiefs or the Royals at this point are going to be playing at the Truman Sports Complex in 2030 or 2032. I think they're going to leave well before them. Remember, it's only 2024. We are in the prime years of Patrick Mahomes. If I'm the Chiefs, go get me a shiny new dome in Kansas City, Kansas. If I'm the Royals, I would pick the location downtown they want and try and work out a deal. But this is not good for Kansas City. There's a lot of division. There was a lot of political shenanigans that were going on. There was a lot of some. I don't want to get too much into politics, because I hate mixing politics and sports. I'll just say this:
ballot stuffing, Nick.
Not ballot stuffing. No ballot stuffing. The responsible political parties, to ensure this deal gets done, acted more in their self-interests and their alignments with certain groups and individuals and businesses. At the end of the day, putting a stadium downtown in Kansas City is good for Kansas City. It's a boon for downtown. It makes downtown Kansas City more of a more legitimate area of a place to go. I mean, the Sprint Center or the T-Mobile Center has been there 20 years, and it's outdated. That's the only reason the Chiefs, the Kansas City, has not gotten an NBA or NHL team, is because they view it as an outdated facility. It's over 20 years old. And the Lewicki brothers, for those that remember them, were the ones in charge, or Tim Lewicki was in charge of getting an NBA and NHL team, and it never happened. So now, if they don't get the Royals downtown, the T-Mobile Center becomes a concert hall, and they make a lot of money doing it, and good for them.
Right.
But if the Royals go to North Kansas City and the Chiefs go to Kansas City, Kansas, or if the Royals go to Johnson County and the Chiefs go to Wyandotte County, downtown Kansas City's done. That would be a wasteland parking lot where the Chiefs and the Royals used to play. So this is a big decision. I don't think it was crafted properly. I don't think it was explained properly. I think the Chiefs and the Royals did the best they could, but I think they would have to admit they knew this was an uphill battle, even though they said yesterday, we're very optimistic. But listen, they have contingency plans. The governor of Kansas, Laura Kelly, is smart. She is a Democratic. She's a Democrat, and nothing wrong with that. And she's getting business done in a Republican state, and I applaud her for it. She brought a lot of businesses to the area. She has $1 billion cash fund right now to give to the Chiefs and or the Royals without having to ask anybody else for a penny. That was according to Bob Fesco on his show on 610 Sports this morning. So she's going to be a player. She was also on stage at the Chiefs parade. So, you have to look at that too. And, Parsons, the governor of Missouri, he's leaving his term in November. So it doesn't really matter to him, one way or another, because it's not his legacy. So again, I get why some Jackson County's voters approved it, didn't want to approve it. But at the end of the day, it's not a good look. And right now the Chiefs and the Royals are free agents. And I think they should look at every single option. I think they should give Jackson County an opportunity to match it. but it's going to cost them a lot more money than what the Chiefs and the Royals were asking to get this deal done. And the Chiefs and the Royals will give a lot less concessions to make it happen. That's the problem. And if the current leadership stays the same in Kansas City with Quentin Lucas and with Frank White and a few others, I don't think they'll approve any kind of deal that there's going to be a consensus that everybody's going to be happy. So they're going to have to pick. Do we take care of the Chiefs or we take care of the Royals? I don't think they can take care of both at this point. That's just my 10 cents.
I feel like that if I'm Clark Hunt, I'm not tearing down what my mom and dad built. I'm not moving it. We're gonna have to go back at it again to see what happens. But if it was me, I'm not Clark Hunt. I'm just saying, speaking for Hense terms. If it was me and my mom and dad built this wonderful stadium still stands.
It's beautiful.
As one of the loudest stadium in the NFL or in the world at that. You know what I mean? So right. Me, I'm not taking away from my pops, my pops and my mother legacy.
The aura.
I'm just gonna say, okay, how can we approach this another time? Because it's 7 years, anything can happen in 7 years. So I hear Nick, I hear, I can see the Royals leaving because man, their stadium is falling apart. They need a new stadium.
Yeah, they're moving no matter what. They will not be there after 2028. They'll be somewhere.
They definitely need a new stadium, no matter how you push it. But the Kansas City Chiefs, if I'm Clark Hunt, hey, my dad built this, and it made generations of wealth. The Chiefs, the Kansas City fan base has been loyal, no matter what. Bags over the head, stuff flying over the stadium. They've been there since day one. I'm not moving that. I wouldn't, as a businessman. I wouldn't do that. Would you guys? Anybody else think you guys say about it?
Well, I think as a businessman, now that would be more the sentimental part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he's acting as a businessman, he's just going to go where the best deal is. And if that's in Kansas, the way Nick's talking, they've got to just loads of cash waiting to just say, okay, what do you want? We'll do whatever. Then that's where it gets swayed. So does Clark just, hey, I'm the owner. This is buck stops here. I'm making the decision.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do this. Does he bite the bullet and start spending some of his own money? That's a whole other issue with some of the things that you're hearing about the facilities and the players and Patrick wanting some air conditioning. Damn it. Come on. You got the best player in
football. Are installing the air conditioning. They are installing the air conditioning to give you an update.
But to the coaching side of things, don't you want the guys to be ready for game conditions? You want it hot in there, don't you?
Yeah, you play in the elements until they play in a dome. I want to make sure I get a few comments in. First from Kareem. I never want to drive on the freeway, look over, and not see the stadium's whole family teared up when we finally got back. And John Harrison makes a great point. The county definitely has more money. They've reamed all of us Jackson County residents and property taxes the past few years. They have gone up significantly. For reasons like that, I'm moving out of Jackson County, and I actually voted for it. And then Ken Sinclair, it wasn't a good marketing job. The perception did not match reality. Also, a lot of people thought they were saving the Truman Sports Complex, which, again, was not part of the vote. And that's the responsibility of Frank White, who wrote a very vague question of the yes or no that indicated, like this was that. This was never to save the Truman Sports Complex. The reality is the Chiefs' infrastructure from a stadium perspective can probably stay there another 20, 25 years. The Royals can't. Their building is going to crumble. That's why they're leaving. That's the primary reason. They're not going to build a new stadium there. I mean, John Sherman bought the Royals for two reasons. One, he's a big Kansas City native, and he wanted to ensure that baseball was here forever. And he always talked from day one about moving the team downtown. And I still think that's what he'll ultimately get done. Right. But it's going to be a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. I definitely agree with you.
It's all about the coin. It's all about the iron, as my grandfather used to say.
All about that iron coin.
It's all about the iron coin. It's all about getting the money. But at the end of the day, if I'm Clark Hunt, I'm looking into that like, okay, businessman. But this stadium, no matter cold, rain, snow, or whatever, the Chiefs fans always
Yeah.
selling out.
They
The
will.
parking lot is always packed, but it ain't that far to go of Kansas. Kansas
It's
is
20
not that
minutes
far.
away. And, and again, I mean, I mean, Val put another question up. So we vote again in November. The problem with that is it's an election year, and we're going to be voting for a new president. And I don't think that's a good time because, listen, if a stadium is dividing us, a presidential election is going to divide us a heck of a lot further. And that could simply just be a left-right issue. There could be no center. Look at it objectively. That's the problem. That's why the Chiefs were so adamant about getting it on the April ballot. I don't think there's a provision for another vote until November. So I think they're stuck. So again, if I were a betting man, I think the Chiefs will probably look elsewhere. I think the Royals will maybe get back with the county, move downtown, and maybe just do the tax just for the Royals to help them. And the Chiefs will get their own money if they go to Kansas City, Kansas, or Johnson County. Again, we're not saying it's going to happen. And Hense is right. The sentimentality of Arrowhead is big. The structure of Arrowhead, those sightlines can never be duplicated. It's absolutely
that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see on the highway. Yeah,
mathematically impossible in any design for those sightlines to be the same. They would have to be. They're pretty steep. If you've been to Arrowhead, especially the upper deck where you feel like you're going to fall on the field, there's a reason for that. That won't happen in a new stadium. That'll be far more leveled out, and you're not as close to the field and you're farther away, and it's significant. So if they're going to build a dome stadium for the house that Mahomes built, or a rolling roof, or a roof similar to what we saw in Germany, then it's going to be beautiful and sexy, and it's going to have a ton of amenities, and it's all going to be first class. It's going to be like what the Chargers and Rams have. It's going to be like what the Raiders have. It's going to be like what the Cowboys have. I mean,
Minnesota has the best stadium, I say.
And Minnesota's got a great stadium too, and it's in the middle. It's in it's up north. And again, there's no reason the Chiefs can't have that. And the short-sightedness of the political structure in Kansas City, it's going to cost them a lot more money in every aspect to get a deal done now. They're going to have to give up more. They're going to have to get less concessions. Like I said, this was a very complicated thing that wasn't explained properly. There were too many opinions, and too many people had different agendas. And I've said this over and over again. The Chiefs the Chiefs are a business. The Chiefs are an entity in which profit and loss matters. Winning Super Bowls increases the value of the team. If Jackson County residents don't understand that, or the people running the politics in Jeff City, this franchise is worth over $4 billion. It was worth $1 billion 8 years ago, 10 years ago. Think about that. And they're going to let a $4 billion business leave their county? That's just not smart. And that's bad leadership. That's how I view it.
Okay. So with
That's
that,
all I got to say.
good take.
with that said, man, hey, it's been a great show. So go ahead and get right back into our sponsors before we close out, Dick.
All right, let's talk about our great friends. First, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group, part of the SunWest Real Estate Group. He is your personal real estate advisor. He is my personal real estate advisor and one of my best friends. He was able to successfully navigate me and my wife, Emily, to get our house, which we close in a couple of days. And he did everything from help us find the right house, go through the paperwork, be there for suggestions, avoid certain traps that he saw. And he just did everything for us. And we felt grateful and appreciative. He even came down, even though he's a Kansas City native and he lives in Kansas City, he's come down here to help us. So, that's what you want. You want someone who's going to be there for you. So give Eric Haynes a call. You can reach him at two ways. First, his phone number, 816-729-3785, or his email, esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
Yes, he is. And another proud sponsor we have is Mr. Dave Purdy. He is now a broker with Edge Home Finance. A new company for Dave. This is the mortgage company that has successfully got us a loan, and we're very excited about that. You can reach Dave at 816-405-5831. If you are looking or considering buying a house, consolidating debt, or trying to see maybe in a 3 or 4 months from now, will I be in a position to get a loan? Just give Dave a call at 816-405-5831 and just let him evaluate your current situation, because he'll take good care of you as he's taking good care of me and my family. We love Dave very much because he is pretty good.
All right, now, Bo, I'm gonna need you to hush up real quick so I get to the people. All right.
Go.
We got Ken. Anonymous
I would
Mango.
do it. We got Anonymous Mango. We got
I
Edward.
apologize, guys. So tired. Still focused on rice right now. He's still thinking about rice. So we're gonna go here. What's going on? Mango, St. Clair, John, Kareem, Val, Frank. What's going on? My lady, Trahan.
Come on, get the names right, sir.
Trahan. I will, sir. You come on, man. Messing me up. Dang, rice ain't going in the first round, sir. So let go my ego, what's going on? And Freeway, what's going on? And what up, Gary? What is going on? And if I didn't say Val, what's going on, Val? Again, welcome to the show. Again, guys, continue with the love and the shares, guys.
Hold on, you forgot ego, Lego. You forgot.
I just said that. I just said that, sir.
You forgot Mac Jones. You forgot who else you got? You forgot Vincent Salsa King. You forgot John Harris.
Vince always the
one. You forgot Frank. Frank for Frank.
I said Frank. Brandon Rice. I'm sorry, he's not going first round, sir. I'm sorry.
Bringing the house crew, taking some strays here. Let's go. Come on, guys.
With that said, man, great show. Hey, hoping to get put back on the ballot at November the 4th, and in November, I hope everything get put back on the ballot. But hey, Houston, Texas are looking dangerous.
They are.
We'll be
We'll
back
see what
Friday.
else happens. All right, guys. Peace out. We'll talk to you Friday.
All right, guys.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe.
Double click.